Today, let's talk about something that's quietly reshaping our schools as we speak: artificial intelligence. It's this incredible, kind of complicated, and super fast-moving story. And really, this whole revolution, it all kicks off with a single, very strange essay.
So get this. An English teacher is reading an essay from a student. It's well written, it flows nicely, it even quotes a few Bible verses. There's just one tiny problem. The Bible verses are completely made up. They don't exist. The student, of course, admitted they used generative AI. But this isn't just about catching a kid cheating. It's a huge teaching moment. It makes you ask, what is this tech really for in the classroom?
So, let's start with the big dream, right? What's the best-case scenario that has so many people so excited? It all comes down to one really powerful idea that could honestly change everything.
And at the absolute heart of that promise is personalized learning. Forever really, school has been this one-size-fits-all thing. Every student gets the same lesson at the same speed. Personalized learning just throws that whole idea out the window. It's all about tailoring the content, the pace, even the teaching style, to exactly what each and every student needs to do their best.
And AI? Well, AI could be the engine that finally makes this possible for everyone. Just think about it for a second. AI can customize what a student sees, giving extra help to someone who's falling behind while pushing another student who's already way ahead. It can handle the boring administrative stuff, freeing up teachers to, actually teach. It can make learning more interactive and fun. And maybe most importantly, it could give kids everywhere access to a great education.
And look, this isn't just some sci-fi fantasy. A 2023 Forbes survey found that 55% of educators believe AI is already making a positive difference for their students. So that optimism, it's based on real results that teachers are seeing with their own eyes right now.
Okay, so let's jump from the what if to the what is. How are schools actually putting this technology to work today?
Well, let's take a look at Ivy Tech Community College in Indiana. They had a huge problem. A lot of their students were at risk of failing and dropping out, often for reasons that had nothing to do with academics.
So what did they do? They tried an AI pilot program. And in just 2 weeks, an AI system crunched the data to figure out which students were most at risk so the college could step in early. The result? 3,000. That is the number of students the program helped keep from failing in just one semester. I mean, that is just a stunning, stunning impact.
And what's really wild is that Ivy Tech isn't some outlier. This is happening all over the world. In Australia, a platform called Maths Pathway is creating personalized math lessons. MIT is using AI to predict at-risk students, just like Ivy Tech. Singapore is using AI to help grade essays. And at Georgia Tech, they have an AI teaching assistant named Jill Watson that has answered thousands of student questions, freeing up the human TAs to focus on the harder stuff. It's everywhere.
Okay, but with all this promise, with all these amazing results, comes a really big catch. For these AI systems to do their magic, they need data, tons and tons of student data. And that opens up a very serious conversation we need to have about privacy.
It really all boils down to this one question. As these platforms track every single click, every right and wrong answer, every little interaction, where is all that sensitive information about our kids actually going, and who's in charge of it?
And believe me, this isn't just a what if. Just look at the LA Unified School District. They launched an AI assistant called Ed, but then the company behind it went bust, and the whole project got shut down. And this left parents with a terrifying question. What happened to our children's data? The worst part? There were no clear answers.
This really gets to a super important point. Not all AI tools are the same. On one hand, you've got tools built just for education, like Conmigo. They're designed from the start with student privacy laws in mind. The data is often anonymized, and it isn't used to train the big public model. But then you have general-purpose tools like ChatGPT. They were never built for the classroom, and their data policies could mean sensitive student info gets exposed. So the tool you choose, it matters a lot.
So privacy is a big one. But beyond that, there's another set of risks that pop up when we start depending too much on this technology. It's a really delicate balancing act, right? Between using AI as a helpful tool and letting it become a crutch.
Education Week painted this pretty chilling picture of what the nightmare scenario could look like: a complete over-reliance on opaque, biased, and poorly regulated AI systems. It's a future where teachers are basically just facilitators, they're blindly trusting what the AI tells them, and all the human stuff that makes teaching special, empathy, connection, nuance, it just fades away. In that nightmare scenario, it plays out in a few key ways. First, you got students who are just bypassing learning entirely, using AI to avoid thinking, not just to cheat. Second, our ability to think critically starts to erode, because we just trust the AI's answer. Third, there's algorithmic bias, where the AI itself can actually reinforce unfair stereotypes. And finally, the digital divide, where the gap between students who have these tools and those who don't just gets wider and wider.
And here is the real kicker. We're asking our teachers to navigate all these incredible risks, but we're not giving them the tools to do it. A recent survey found that a whopping 58% of educators have gotten zero training on AI. None. How can we possibly expect them to guide students through this brand new world if we don't even give them a map?
So after looking at the amazing promise and the pretty serious perils, where does that leave us? Well, the path forward isn't about just blindly accepting it all, but it's not about rejecting it out of fear either. It's about finding a smart, thoughtful, balanced way forward.
I absolutely love this quote from a school principal named Aaron Sinkmamani. He says, "We can be skeptically optimistic." We don't have to just rush in head first like we did with, say, smartphones in schools. We can actually slow down. We can ask those tough ethical questions before the tech is everywhere, not after the fact.
So what does that skeptical optimism look like in the real world? Well, experts point to a pretty simple 4-step plan. 1, figure out what you actually need. Don't just buy the shiny new tech because it's new. 2, invest big in training your teachers. This is absolutely non-negotiable. 3, work hard to make sure every single student has access. And 4, create crystal clear rules about data privacy and ethical use right from day one. And here is just a brilliant example of what that can look like. An English teacher, Christina Peterson, she gives her students summaries from ChatGPT that she knows have mistakes in them. And then she challenges them to find the errors. And what she found is fascinating. She said they love to point out what AI got wrong, and they push back on AI far more than they push back on me. She's literally turning the AI's biggest weakness, the fact that it messes up, into a powerful lesson in critical thinking.
So ultimately, this is where we are. AI is here, it's in our schools, it's in our kids' pockets, and it's not going anywhere. Banning it doesn't really work. So the fundamental question, the one that we all have to figure out an answer to, is no longer if we're going to use it, it's how. How are we going to guide this unbelievably powerful technology to build the kind of future for learning that we actually want?